Hello,
Hey,
everybody. Oh my goodness, it's Friday, the best day of the whole wide week. Thank
Happy
God it's Friday.
TDIF, everyone.
Yes, exactly. Happy TDIF. Oh my gosh. Again, as you know, our all-time super duper favorite day of the week is Thank Dog It's Friday, because we get to be with you and we get to do a lot of fun things together. Sometimes it's doggy themed crafts, sometimes it's doggy yummy treat recipes, and who knows, sometimes it's something completely different, but it's all in our love of pups, and we're super happy to have you here with us today. If you don't know who we are, I am Patty Quinn, and I'm here with the amazing and adorable Hillary Buchholz.
Hello, everybody.
Look at that beautiful smile. And we are the co-founders of We Heart Hounds, and yeah, if you know any dog lovers, dog parents, moms or dads out there that love dog crafts, dog recipes, all things dogs, please share and sprinkle the love. We would love that. To just share it more and more with everybody out there. That would really help us out a lot. So today we have a craft, we're calling it a Country Cottage Dog Wreath, and it's really got that rustic farmhouse feel that we love. It's really super simple to make, as pretty much everything we do.
There's a theme on this,
yeah,
on our crafts and recipes,
yeah.
as simple as we can make them.
Yeah, almost low or no talent skills required, really. But the really great thing about it is, oh my gosh, they turn out spectacular. Like they really, all of these projects and the recipes, like they all just are just amazing. Not to toot our own horn, but I'm just speaking from my own experience, I'm always surprised. Like at the end, you're like, wow, that like really turned out really well. So today's wreath, you're just going to need, basically we used a 14-inch wreath form.
Yep.
You just need a foam one. It can be smaller, it can be bigger, it doesn't matter, but we're just kind of going by the 14-inch size. You're going to need about 10 to 12 sheets of this sand color. You can use any color. We're using sand color today. Kind of slowly working our way into fall. We don't want to see summer go quite yet. we're slowly working our way into fall crafts. And we need about probably 10 or 12 sheets of the felt. And then some scissors, some stick pins. I got a bajillion of those that we're going to need, and some ribbon. We'll show you that in a little bit, and a little bit of jute twine. And maybe some twist ties and things like that. So just some of these things you should have around the house pretty much, and others just a couple little supplies you can grab from Dollar Tree or Walmart or wherever, Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. I think we actually ended up finding these ones at Michael's too. So
yes. This color,
and it's a really pretty, it creates just this kind of soft, sophisticated, like, although it's this farmhouse, it's just kind of a sophisticated, neutral wreath that I think turns out really pretty. So I love this color for this particular project.
I do too. And it's such a nice neutral color that goes with everything. So it would pretty much fit everybody's decor. And it's also kind of why we called it, it's kind of got a little bit of an upscale look because of its overall style. That's where Country Cottage came in instead of farmhouse. So we're up in our little game here a little bit with design. So anyway, the whole design elements of the wreath involve cutting leaf shapes. So we're going to fill the wreath form with all of these wonderful leaf shapes. And the easiest way to do that, yes, Lulu, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to cut a bunch of leaves. She obviously has been helping Mom already with hers, so she knows all about it.
She just got back from the groomer, so she's very excited.
She's excited. So there's a really simple way, because you know us, if we don't have to measure, we kind of just like to wing it right by the seat of our pants. So there's a really easy way to get uniform leaf shapes, and that is to fold your felt in half widthwise, and then just kind of cut along that fold. And then you're left with two kind of rectangular shapes that are about the same size. And then Hillary's folding hers in half. I just eyeballed mine right down the middle. So we're cutting the same direction that we did with the first cut. And you're basically just cutting that in half again. So you have, it might not be exact, but you've got 4 pieces of felt that are about the same size. So they're roughly, what are these sheets? 8 by 10 sheets kind of. So they're probably 8 by 3 inches, roughly 3.5 inches. And then I take 2 at a time, just so that, because you're going to be cutting out a lot of leaves. And then you're just going to go work your way across your strip of felt, and you're just going to cut some leaf shapes out. So kind of think about like a lemon or a leaf shape. And the idea is to have a point at one end, and you're going to want a flat end at the bottom or on one end. So pointy on one end and flat on the bottom. And I started these with points on both ends. You can do that too, but it just makes it a little more tricky with the next step that we're going to be doing. But anyway.
And I actually, rather than just cutting the leaves directly out, I cut mine into the little rectangles. So it just kind of makes it a little bit more uniform. And then I cut my leaf shapes out once it's already in a rectangle shape.
Okay, and that'll work too. Yeah.
But either way, this part is not challenging, but a little bit time consuming because you do have quite a few leaves you're going to have to cut.
Yeah, I'm afraid to tell you how many leaves you're going to need to cut out, because you probably won't want to start, but it doesn't go, we've made wreaths where you're cutting lots of different pieces out. This actually goes a lot faster than many of the, some of the other wreaths we've done. But you're going to end up with several hundred leaves when all things are finished. Because I think each sheet ends up giving you roughly 20-ish leaves. And if you're going through 10 or 12 sheets of felt, then obviously you're going to end up with a lot. So you'll have a nice stack of leaves to work with when you're all done.
And they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to have they don't have to be symmetrical. It's just really a rough leaf shape, and that's good enough.
Yeah, a rough cut is perfectly fine. In fact, if they're different sizes, that all the better, because then it makes it look more natural, right? You don't need them to be completely uniform. So then the next step is to take that bottom edge, and we're gonna curl it into itself to make a nice little pretty leaf. See how we've got that? Now, if you want, you can hot glue it in place just like that, but we kind of skip that step. If we can make it easier for us, we do. And then you're just going to take your stick pin, and you're going to stick that pin right through that fold to keep that fold in place. And then you're just going to pin it to your wreath, just like that. And then you just keep adding more and more, and they don't have to be butt up right against each other. You can space them out a little bit. Let me stick this pin through here. So you're going to kind of start to overlap them. If you'd like, you can have them go all in the same direction. You probably won't need as many leaves if they all go in the same direction, if they're all pointing in the same direction. For ours, we ended up kind of twisting and turning and having them go in all kinds of wacky directions. It really gives it a fun texture look. It makes it look a little fuller and richer, but you probably will need more leaves than if you did it with just them all. I think it would be beautiful if they're all going in the same direction.
It would be really pretty to do it in all in the same direction.
Yeah. And so when you're all done, all that work pays off into this gorgeous beauty right here. You can see. Now, so Hillary has a trick. Yeah. Why don't you?
Yeah, I have a little chunk here that I've left open. I will be filling that in. But mine was a white wreath form. And so I wrapped it with just a little bit of jute ribbon, kind of that super wide ribbon. And it just sort of helps because you're not going all the way around, it just kind of helps to hide some of that color of the wreath form. But the other thing that it also does is it looks really pretty if you were just to do like this bottom section here and left the rest of it with just the jute wrapping.
Did a little bit from like 3 to 6 or whatever. That would be really pretty. So yeah, when I finished my sample or this one, we were talking, Hillary and I were talking, and I said, I might need more leaves to fill in the sides, because if you're hanging it, you won't see the wreath form from the front. But if you're hanging it someplace where you might see the side, You might want to, I said it probably would have been better if I just wrapped it with some jute ribbon or something first. Or you can just fill it in with more leaves and then cover that edge. So either way would work. But yeah, Hillary wrapped hers in that burlap. She showed me when she had it about a third of it done, and oh, it was stunning just as is.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you don't want to cut as many leaves, or if you don't want to, it's a really pretty technique, and with the color and everything, just with the ribbon and the leaf as they are. So, but we're overachievers, so we're going to be filling this whole thing in, and it's just going to be gorgeous when we're all done. So we've got that piece done. So then the next piece, because everything we do is dogified, right?
Thank you. B says, wow, that looks amazing.
Oh,
so thank you very much.
Yeah,
really turned out
thank
pretty.
You. They did. They really did. And they'd be really pretty in different colors. You could do multiple colors if you wanted, all of that kind of stuff. Then the next thing we did is grab some ribbons, and we have this really fun dog bone ribbon in the kind of fall colors, which is really pretty. It's those neutrals again, the browns, beiges, and white. Yeah. And then I've got just kind of a wired, so this one's 2.5 inches, this one's 1.5 inch. So basically just get 2 ribbons that are different sizes. And we're calling this a mix and match bow. It's a completely new technique, just kind of made it up on the fly for this particular project. But I just thought it'd be a fun technique to do. Knocked over my hot glue gun. And that is to just make a bow with 4 little loops. So 2 loops on each side of your print. So basically you have a printed ribbon, and you know, it could be fall flowers or anything like that. Of course, ours is dog themed. And then you're gonna make a smaller bow with this smaller sized ribbon that's kind of a neutral solid color. And that just has the 2 loops. And we just use twist ties to put this together. So you're not knotting or doing anything really fancy. But then what we're gonna do is we're going to hot glue one ribbon on top of the other. So the key is that neither one of these have like that poofy middle, right? Yep. Because we're gonna do that last. But this is the mix and match part. So we're gonna take the big ribbon and glue the little ribbon on top. And if you have twist ties that are big enough, you could just twist tie these together, right? So you don't need the glue necessarily.
Yeah, and I actually use, because I don't have any twist ties, so I'm just using some floral wire that I got at Dollar Tree, which is pretty easy. It's pretty pliable. It's pretty easy to work with, so you can use that as well.
Yeah, floral wire would work just as easy as a twist tie or bread tie, whatever you have on hand. So let me just kind of look in. So that's where you've got your 2 bows. Glue hasn't dried yet, and I'm holding it up.
We always get a little too anxious.
I know.
So.
All right.
Oh, yep. See, too anxious.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think it was gluing on the wire, and the wire just didn't quite set. So here we go. So now we've got this, but we're not quite done with it just yet. So the next step to really finish off this bow and make it look really pretty is to take, I'd say about 6 or 7 inches of your printed ribbon, so the one that's on the bottom, and then we're going to curl it up and make, now we're making the poof for our bow, and we're gonna glue that on top in the middle. And if you wanna twist tie that together first, you can, which I think I'm gonna do just to give myself a nice little official poof shape. So I've got a little twist tie there. I got my little poof. And then I'm going to glue that on top. Ow. The glue is hot. I don't think I've ever done a hot glue project where I haven't glued my fingers. All right. You got to suffer for your art, I tell you. All right. And oh my gosh, this I just love this little technique because you don't have to worry about, you know, sometimes when you're making bows and trying to get that last little poof on there, your fingers, you're holding all those twisted pieces of ribbon together, and it's just really can be cumbersome and difficult to do. And this way we're kind of cheating. We're adding the poof at the end. So,
well, and just really getting all the ribbon to be in the correct direction, can sometimes get really challenging. So,
yep.
This is a nice way to make it simple.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost bulletproof. Like you can't go wrong. And I always make my tails super long. You can, once you put them on the thin, you can kind of trim them up. So I wouldn't worry about length. Just, you know, make sure your bow has some nice long tails.
Yep.
And then when we attach it to the wreath, we can cut it to size. Watch your fingers. That's where I burned it. That's where I burned mine, is pushing down.
I was just trying to be, I know I was too anxious the last time, and I probably will be again this time. So.
Oh, it's so cute. I love that. That's so neat. And you can see we both have a different solid color, you know, but it's that burlap look. And it just complements the other ribbon so well. All right. And then I'm going to kind of pick, where do I want my bow to go? I guess that'll work. And you can kind of move some of these little leaves around to make a space, and then we're going to hot glue the bow in place.
And you're going to need to be probably pretty generous.
Yeah.
You could also try to pin if you wanted a little extra, which I think I'll probably do.
I'm just going to hold that for a while. But yeah, you could pin it in place as well, just to give it a little insurance while it's drying. All right. And then, well, that's, yeah, I think I might pin it just because it's, otherwise I'd have to hold it here for a while. All right. Yeah. This is looking so pretty. All right. Nope. My pin is, I'm impatient. I want the glue to dry faster.
So yeah, I would say just hold it there for a little bit to actually give it a chance to glue down.
Right. All right.
Because you're kind of gluing onto that. You got, you know, 3 layers of bow and a bunch of layers of leaves underneath it. So you got quite a bit of fluff.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So then I'm just going to kind of eyeball the ends of, try to make that a little shorter. And all right, so just trimming up the bottom of my bow. And then before we show you what that looks like, I want to flip it over, and then we can put a little hanger on the back. And we'll do that with a little piece of jute, about 8 inches, 6-8 inches. And then we're going to tie a knot on both ends just because it tends to fray. And I'm going to turn that over. And we can just pin that to the top. And the trick there, and you could hot glue it too, it's totally fine. But the trick with that is make sure if you're pinning it or gluing it that the knots kind of go under, you're tucking them under the wreath form. So they don't get in the way. You're not hitting them when you hang it on the wall. kind of tucking them out of the way. And then probably 2 or 3 pins on each side.
Need to look and see. Try not to get it off center from the bow on the front.
Well, that's the nice thing about pins is you can always repin it. If your hanger is off center, you can repin it in place. But for now, at least you get an idea of how it works. So I just put 3 pins on each side. So let me show you up close. So you can see, tuck the knots underneath a little bit and then put 3 pins, 1 down by the knot, 1 in the middle, and then kind of 1. You kind of want to get 1 right at the mid section of your wreath form so that gives it some stability. And you can kind of zhuzh and twist and play with your little leaves to get it just right. Alrighty, and there we go. So pretty, look how pretty it is. These are so great. I love them. They're so much fun.
Yeah, they really
turn out. I just love how this, they turn out beautifully. And I just love how this simple bow, you know, it's just nice and subtle, but it really kind of adds that dog theme to your project. Yep. And you can, like I said, you can use different colors. You can have the leaves going all in the same direction. You can do just a section of it if you had wrapped your wreath in that burlap ribbon. So there's lots of fun different ways to do this. And we just think this is such a classic farmhouse kind of neutral wreath. And it's great to carry you all the way into fall, and you can change up the ribbon. You can add little, you know,
little pumpkins and things like that.
Or leaves, in your wreath if you'd like, for more decor, or up by the ribbon, you can add some things. So really just a fun wreath to, like I said, to carry all the way through fall and into the winter months. Actually, you could probably use this all year round because it's neutral.
Absolutely, yeah.
You could just change up the bow for the season. So anyway, hope we've inspired you. Hope you've enjoyed today's craft. It was so much fun being here with you today.
And if you are looking for some other crafts, we have huge long playlists of all kinds of different fun crafts, recipes, all sorts of things. And if you like, share, subscribe, those things help us out a ton if you can do that. So we will also have, by the end of the day, we will have a link to step-by-step instructions that'll have photographs, close-up photographs of each of the steps. So that'll be in this description as well. So you can come back and check that out. And yeah, it'll also give you a list of materials, everything you need. So we would love it if you would check that out as well. That would be great. That would be great. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us today. Have a great weekend. We hope we've inspired you to do something fun. Take care. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.